Hi everybody, my name is Johnny Keda. Welcome to NoviceDayTrader.com, and tonight we are going to talk about resistance and support levels. Now, before you go into that, I urge you to go ahead and read the disclaimer on my website because day trading does incur some risk, and I just want to make you obviously be aware of that. But having said that, we're going to cover support and resistance, and to do that, we are going to look at this stock right here. It's GAP, G-A-P, which is the store which most of you probably have heard of. And what we're going to look at is some areas of support and resistance. Now, we're going to start off right in here and look at it as being a level of support. Let's start off in late November. And what happened is, for whatever reason, someone thought that the stock was a great buy at this price, which would have been about 10.55. And so at 10.55, people bought the stock and it went back up, started to trend back down. Now, having this little piece of information, you can look ahead into late December and say, wow, it again hit this area and bounced back up. So again, why did this happen? I don't know. I don't know who was buying. All I know is that someone was buying at about 10.55. They thought it was a great deal. And it, of course, the stock went up. So when you find a level like this that the stock bounces against and bounces back up, that is called a support. So this is support for the stock at that time frame. Now, as we look at the stock a little later, you can almost see right in here. Sometimes it's more of an art than a science. You could go up here and see, actually this does work too. If you look up right up here, there is a level of resistance indicated by this point right here at 1289 back in early November. And so if you bought this stock down here, let's say, you would need to be aware that there was a potential resistance to this at 1150, at 1162, somewhere about there, because you can see this little plateau here. Now it's not perfect. Now you can also see that it did a little stop here. So this level of resistance is what the stock bumped up against, and then it pushed on through. So as you go up, a general rule is that what was once resistance, if it's broken, then becomes support, or if it was support and broken, it then becomes resistance. So once it breaks through this, now this can be seen as a level of support. So you can actually see that right in here, where the stock kind of bounces around a little bit before it heads on up. Now, again, you can see that there was a big level of resistance back here. And sure enough, the stock kind of did some consolidating here, and then boom, it dropped. Now you can say, well, John, what could this do me? When you look at this huge drop from about 13 down to 11, so that's almost a 20% drop in one day. So hello, day trading can be hazardous to your health. But now, this didn't just happen by accident. One, you could see that there was resistance here based on some of the early information we had. And it didn't just drop off the face of the earth for no reason. What happened was the Gap released earnings right here, the day after this, right here on the whatever date that was. Looks like January 12th, something like that. And it was disastrous. They had a very bad earnings report. So the stock just tanked 20%. So hello, hello, hello. That is one reason why we never, ever hold a stock over earnings. No matter what you thought. You might have thought, well, look at that. There's some resistance here. It's consolidating. I think I'm going to hold it over earnings. No, 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 no. Don't ever do that. So this didn't happen by accident. And if you got hit by this, that was your own fault. You shouldn't be holding things over earnings. But look at this. This area that was at one point support did somewhat act like support right here. It's not a coincidence that this stock opened here after their terrible earnings release. It happened because there's resistance here, what was, or support, I should say. So it tried to support the stock, but it blew through that. Then the next level of support was right here, and it blew through that. And you can see, you just see that holding the stock at this point was just a bad idea. So anyway, that's kind of how support and resistance works. Now, down here, I actually have this in play right now. I actually have some shares that I had bought of Gap right here. And the reason I did that was because, look, there is some resistance, or I would say support, I'm sorry, right here at 716. So what I did is thinking that it did one bounce and it came back and it's kind of like bouncing down. Now I'm hoping that um, this is going to be a level of support. And so I've got it at 742, and I just bought a very little amount because I knew that it might drop this far. Now what I'm counting on is not dropping any further. In fact, you can see this bounce today right here. It came down, it opened, and it bounced back up. So I'm hoping that tomorrow will be a better day and you'll see a trend up here. So again, that is how you use support and resistance. Actually have a stop placed right on the other side of this. Now, think about placing stops. One thing you should be aware of is we're going to talk about that in another video, but as it relates to points of resistance or support, when you have a support at 720, people tend to like to trade in whole numbers. So at 720, you're going to see a lot of activity because that's a nice round number. So I never ever place my stops on a hard even number. I always go a cent or two below that. So I believe my stop is actually at something like 714, which is just below 715. So in the event that this does go down, I won't, I'll be stopped out of my position, which is fine because that tells me if it breaks through this level of support, then it's going to go lower. So that is how you basically use support and resistance to enter into trades. And in another video, I'm going to actually show you how to make some trades based on this information. Now, before we leave the topic of resistance and support, I did want to point you out to a very cool website that is really great at helping you determine where resistance and support levels are. And this website is called StockTA, Tom Apple, StockTA.com. And if you go there, you'll see a screen that looks just like this. And if you enter in your stock up in this box right here, and you hit enter, it's going to actually give you a lot of information, and you can go ahead and just go to that website and try it out. But what I like here is the resistance and support levels. It actually uses some mathematical formulas to actually give you what these are, and you can go ahead and read what all these other indicators are. But basically, you see that there was resistance at all these different levels. um, so if the stock does go up, my first point of resistance is going to be 749, then 837, 914, and so on. So this actually gives you the support and resistance levels that are very helpful when looking at your stocks. You guys have a great day. Trade well. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.